Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of having floating plants on your tank. If we get closer here, you can see I have a lot of duckweed and some Amazon frogbit as well. The Amazon frogbit is the larger stuff here, and I personally like that a lot better, just because I think it looks a lot better than the duckweed, and it also seems to stay in place. It's a little less messy. Um, that's probably a disadvantage of floating plants, is that they can get a little messy if you have like a hang on the back filter like this. And that's why I have this little contraption I just made today, using 3 different straws. I made it to keep out the duckweed from getting in the flow of the filter, because it was getting knocked down by the filter, and then it would get stuck in like the carpet here, so there'd be a ton of it packed into this, and it just really wasn't pleasing. So I made this little thing, and I'll probably redo this with a clear straw once I find a clear straw. But I just wanted to try it out, and it's been working really well. Other than being messy, duckweed and other floating plants, there's really a lot more benefits than there are disadvantages, I guess. Another benefit would be that the fact that it blocks out a lot of light. You can see the fish really like the fact that there's subdued lighting in this corner of the tank. They seem to be hanging out here more often compared to like the brighter areas over here. So some fish really almost require floating plants, and also they're really good for absorbing excess nutrients from the water column. If you have problems with algae from either excess nutrients or too much light, it's going to it's going to help with both of those issues. And it also looks pretty cool with the roots hanging down from the surface. And the shrimp seem to like crawling on the duckweed upside down, which is sort of cool. It also looks really nice if you have an open top tank. It's just something else to look at from above, and gives your tank another dimension, I guess. But I definitely recommend having floating plants on a planted tank. I think it keeps everything in balance a lot better, and you're less likely to have problems with your water quality. I think of floating plants almost like a safety net for your tank. It's really going to prevent from a big problem with anything, and it'll probably let you go a little longer without water changes as well. Now, another disadvantage of floating plants might be that the fact that they grow so fast, they spread quickly. A lot of these plants are considered invasive species, so definitely dispose of them properly. Don't just dump them in a local pond or something. But you're probably going to have to be taking scoops of this stuff out after a month or two of having this in your tank. And specifically duckweed, it's really hard to get rid of once you have it in your tank. I tried to remove it all a couple months ago just because it was getting a little messy, and I don't know, for some reason I just wanted to get rid of it. But now I've been letting it grow out again, and I didn't even have to reintroduce it into the tank. It just sort of started up again on its own. I thought I had removed it all, but it's almost impossible to get it all out. Frogbit, or bigger floating plants in general, would be much easier to remove. Frogbit is also a really fast grower, but not as much as the duckweed. The reason why floating plants are fast growing is they have access to the CO2 in the atmosphere, which so they have like no limiting factors. They have all the nutrients they need in the water. They have really bright light because they're really close to your light source, and they have all the CO2 they need in the atmosphere or in the air that we breathe. So yeah, they have all the 3 things you need to grow plants, and that's that's why they're really nice to have. I'm hopefully going to cover this tank up with duckweed and the frog bit in the next week or so here. Right now it's about almost 75% covered. So yeah. If you have any other questions or comments about floating plants, or if you have another species of floating plants I didn't mention in the video that you really like, please leave that in the comments below, and thanks for watching.